temporary intro. So, welcome back to Usual Paddy. Today I'm joined with Jamie.
Yo.
And I'm joined with Martin.
Greetings.
It is October, and throughout this month it's Halloween, obviously. So, I'm trying to keep everything this month Halloween related. I'm going to push a lot of shows when I can. Interview different people, talk about different horror films, about what the people like, and so on and so forth. Because everyone has a different opinion on a horror film and how they react to them. So this one with these two reprobates will be part one of probably part two, because this is probably going to go on for a long time. Because there's a lot of things to cover when you start talking about horror. So, let's get this nut rolling. Let's start with Jamie.
Right.
Horror films. What was your first break into horror film?
That depends. Would you class Terminator 2 as a horror film?
I mean, everyone has different perceptions on what horror is. Like, people that are afraid of technology, for example, will find that very scary.
Because I know it's a sci-fi action thriller, but it has elements of scary stuff in it.
A lot of thrillers do. Like, people are like, just simple murder.
Alright, so the first sort of film with scary themes in it I ever saw was Terminator 2 at 5 years old.
I saw that at a young age as well. And it was awesome.
If you're going to go for a pure horror, the first one I ever saw was actually a year later. It was Stephen King's The Tommyknockers. Really, Martin?
Are you laughing because he said the word Tommy?
Yeah, that's it. Let's go with that.
Okay, Martin, what was your first array into horror? If that's the right word.
What's the Romero Day of the
With the zombies?
Yeah, with the
That's
zombies.
all of them.
No, with the shopping centre.
Dawn of the
That's
Dead.
Dawn.
of the Dead. That's the first one I remember.
Oh, I love that
Or
film.
one of the earliest ones. It was either that or The Omen.
That's quite a heavy watch as like a first horror.
It is, yeah. The Omen is another one you can add to the list that I haven't seen, by the way.
You've not seen the Omen?
Nope.
Oh, Jesus.
At least for me, I wasn't like 5. I did sort of wait until slightly later on.
I think I was 14 when I first saw Dawn of the Dead. The
I
original.
was around about. I was sort of like 12, 13. That's sort of like late prime.
I was quite a bit older when I first watched, really zombie films. Like when I was still in primary school, as far as any films go, until Jurassic Park came along and that just took over my life. It was Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Again, not particularly scary, but when you see like face melting,
yeah,
and things like that. I mean, you could kind of throw that in there.
Well, there's a whole category thing of like scary moments in non-horror movies that you can find.
Terminator 2, I wouldn't say subjected to because I was like really into it at young age, but also Aliens. I was thrown into Aliens at like a semi-young age, and that was
the first
good thing
Alien
for
one
me.
I saw was Alien 3, and I can't remember how old I was.
That's a poor one to start with.
Yeah, I know. I was younger than 10, but I can't remember how old exactly, and I was at... I wasn't at home, obviously, because my mum would not have let me watch that.
Oh, and Tremors.
Another
I
one I've
watched
not
Tremors
seen.
at like a young age, and love that film.
If you're gonna count that as horror, that was pre.
The original one is horror, isn't
That
it?
was pre-Romero. For me, so if we're counting Tremors, although I wouldn't count it as horror, it's a comedy.
Well, it's
again, not seen
classed
it,
as
I'm
a
just
comedy
guessing.
horror.
But I mean, it's difficult.
It's B movie.
It's difficult to define because, for example, Alien, the first one, is a by-the-books horror movie.
Yeah.
And then the second one's a sci-fi thriller.
The second one is it's not a horror movie. It doesn't follow the sort of the set pieces. And
But the
rules.
third one, despite all its flaws, did go back to being a horror. The alien hid in the dark and it jumped out at unsuspecting victims.
Yeah. But there was also that really campy way it like jumps out in like one of them might have been the first one. Where they like shone a light and it was just like, hey.
That's the first one.
Where it
Where
did the
it goes
jazz
just hands,
hands,
yeah. That's the original. Yeah, but we were talking
And
1970.
then no one was offended because it did jazz hands.
Yeah, it didn't clap.
Continue without going down that rabbit hole.
You brought it up.
Yeah, when was it? 1979, the first Alien?
Yeah, I was at minus age at that.
Yeah, same
that
here.
year.
Hell, my mum was in her
79.
teens.
Well, I mean, it's nothing these days.
Yeah, but back then it did.
Mm.
Behave. What's where you're going? That's
Beehive.
my family's honour you're impugning.
Impugning.
Well, at least it's not
I'm
your
pruning your
family's-
family with my
Screw you.
secretaires of truth. Wow. Right, so first raise into horror. Is there anything that, like, in the younger years, that, like, actually scared you? Like, after you watched a film where you thought everything was fine, but then when it's time to go to bed and you turn the light off, you're like,
There was one film when I was a child.
go on so we can ridicule you.
I don't even know what the film was called. I don't remember most of it. But basically, there was a fella. Yeah, I know. It's terrifying already. Yeah, there was a dude who was running away from people who kept showing him upside down crosses. Because there was some kind of thing that if he saw an upside down cross, he would die. And there's all these different upside down crosses kept appearing. He was trying to keep away from it. And he ended up getting hit by a demolition ball. And for the rest
That's
of the
unlucky.
night... Yeah, bearing in mind I was a child, for the rest of the night I was terrified of these monks with white faces coming after me with upside down crosses.
Martin, what scared you?
Everything.
I don't particularly get that kind of scared. You know, I'm not like scared of monks running after me. Well, to be honest, if I was chased by monks, I'd probably be worried.
So you're saying even as a kid you weren't scared of things, like lingering
Not,
things in your
not
mind?
in that way. It's like I'll
as a
watch a
child.
film and be scared. I know quotation marks doesn't show up on microphone, but not in that sort of lasting sort of way.
No, I mean, to be honest, I can't think of something that kept me up at night.
Stuff will give me the heebie-jeebies.
I know.
And I might be walking along thinking, oh, that's a bit weird. But
I'm guessing The Mirror gives you the heebie-jeebies.
What, the film?
No, just looking in a
Oh,
mirror.
not like the Kiefer Sutherland film.
No, I've not
Kiefer
actually seen
Sutherland
that.
does give me the heebie-jeebies.
What does looking in a mirror?
No, Kiefer Sutherland.
How does he give you the heebie-jeebies? That's Jack Bauer.
But, yeah.
You scared that it'll just kill you?
It scares me that the concept of the TV series is that he was in, but that's too much off topic. I'll go on that one later.
Jack
Yeah,
Bauer
let's get back to
makes
horror.
Chuck Norris cry. Fact.
By how pathetic he is. And Chuck
Still
Norris
makes
is
him
really
cry.
sad that this is what the human race
As
is
he
going to
cries iron tears.
Oh, I
So
like
nothing,
Chuck Norris.
nothing really kept you up at night. And the only thing that did is
Not that I can
Jamie's
remember.
monks with upside down crosses.
Mm.
Fair enough.
If anyone knows the film I'm talking about, feel free to let us know because it's been
Yeah.
driving me mad for years. And Google search is really unhelpful with film where man who sees upside down crosses dies.
I can see Martin's on his phone, so I think he's trying to find it. And
Yes.
he'll probably find it. Good old Google. Eh?
Yeah.
Except he won't be using Google because he's anti-Google.
Yes.
On my phone, I do, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Right. Well, carry on then, Joe.
So, what kind of horror films do you like, Jamie?
Zombie.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
I suppose I don't need to know. Zombie films all the way. Is that your
I
number
absolutely love zombie
one?
films.
What is it about zombie films that you...
To be clear, it's films with the old school zombie rules, where not the ones where they're shrieking, running, demon type things, but slow, shuffling, moaning. I think it's kind of the juxtaposition of they're so slow, weak, and stupid, and yet in large numbers they're so deadly, and the fact that they don't.
That's it. I mean, they can
They don't
soon
stab
swamp
you or shoot you. They literally rip you apart while you're alive. You feel the pain of blunt teeth
Well,
gnashing at you. And all that.
Zombies are like the sea. If
Wet.
I threw a cup of water in your face,
Wet and full of whales.
you would be fine. But if I put you against a rock in the middle of a storm, you'd get absolutely mushed by a wave.
True enough.
There you go. That's my deep and meaningful.
But if you got rushed into a rock in the sea, you'd be in danger. But if a boat suddenly came along and picked you up, you could survive. You get a single bite or scratch from a zombie, that's it, game over.
Would
You
you
could
be
drown.
Would you be able to smell what that rock is cooking?
Oh, yeah, they just high-fived each other.
That was good.
I don't know, other than the reasons I've just given, I'm just drawn to zombie films. I mean, I will watch the ones with running, shrieking, snarling, demon-style zombies, but I prefer slow, shuffling, groaning corpses.
Are you one of these people that think 28 Days Later is a zombie film?
See, I'm divided on this one because it acts like...
It is.
It's not.
It acts like a zombie film in the fact that it's a virus and the
It kills them. They come
no,
back
it doesn't
to life.
kill. No, it doesn't kill
It
them.
doesn't kill them.
It sends them into a state of permanent murderous rage, but they are still alive. You can kill them with a shot to the heart, or drowning them, or any way you could kill anyone else.
Would you consider I Am Legend to be a zombie film?
No.
No, because they think.
Again, they're
they plan.
infected people.
So,
Yeah, they're not dead.
Thinking and planning, you can't use that as a thing because I can't remember which Romero film it was. It's one of the more recent ones.
Actually,
where
if
they
you
have zombies that have memories, and it's like a dude who's dead, and he's like trying to fill up cars at a gas station.
Yeah, that's Land of the Dead. But before that, in the missile silo, Day of the Dead, they have one trapped called Bub, who actually just pick up
shoots him. And,
yeah. So yeah, but that's different from the thinking and planning that the monsters in what's it called again? I Am Legend do, in that they actively set a trap for the guy just by
They're
simply
closer to
observing once what he
vampires.
does. Hey?
Yeah,
in the
in
original
the way they-
book, they
they-
were vampires.
Yeah.
The
but
light
books
burns
always
them.
change it. But yeah, getting back to 28 Days Later, in the sense that they act as a mindless collective horde that are acting purely on instinct, and it's a virus that causes it. In that way, it's a zombie film, but in the fact that they are alive and can be dispatched in the same way any other normal person can, no, they're not zombies. So it kind of is and isn't a zombie film at the same time.
They are, because if you look at zombie films, they track the fears of the era in which they're created. So, for example, the very first Night of the Living Dead, it was a satellite that come down and it was radiation that created the zombies. And that was in the era of like the Cold War, when people were scared of nuclear bombs. And
Wait, was it explained in the original what caused it? The original black and white Night
The
of
original
Dead?
black and white was something about a satellite crashing, and that was heavily implied that was what it was.
Oh.
It was implied it was a radiation thing. Again, because like I say, at that time, what was in people's minds was radiation from nukes. Then it moved along, and then it became a virus because people became more concerned about like chemical weapons and things like that and stuff like that.
See?
Now you get like 28 Days Later, and it's sort of the whole genetically messed around sort of thing. So it does. The zombie films track what people are scared of at the
See,
time.
that happened with Indiana Jones to an extent as well. And
Crystal Skull, I've not seen that
Yeah.
yet.
Don't.
I've seen the original 3 before you get on a hissy
with
fit.
a lot of people hated Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and there were a lot of things about it that I didn't like.
Like the
But-
film.
The thing is, people were like, oh, why is it all about aliens and stuff like that? But the thing is, I mean, it's set in the time of when Roswell was a thing. Now, all the films were based, there's things in it which revolve around events that happened in that era, and this happens around the whole Roswell thing. So that's where they used it, but a lot of people don't see it like that, and just think, oh, why'd you use aliens?
I can't.
Oh, it's aliens. Spoiler alert.
I can
No,
disagree.
I've heard of the
I can
aliens thing,
disagree
it's not spoiling it.
with it and think it's rubbish because of the aliens, but I can't disagree with them using aliens because
It's
like,
the CG that ruined it for me.
yeah, the first one was like, was it they were after the Ark of the Covenant or something like that? So it's
That
kind of
wasn't
like
the first one.
Yeah, the first one was the
Last
Dark.
Crusade.
Last Crusade was the
yeah,
one with Sean
and they're
Connery.
after,
Yeah, was that the first one?
No, that's the third
which
one.
ones were they after the
Ark of the Covenant was the first
cup?
one. The
The,
Cup's the Last Crusade, the one with Sean Connery.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, so it's like aliens. That's ridiculous, but a bearded man in the sky who came down and got resurrected. That's out. That's perfectly acceptable.
Because a lot, and as sad as it is to say it, it's a lot more people believe in God than they do in the idea of life outside this planet.
God's fine, but aliens are out of order.
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
Raiders
I'm
of the
not
Lost Ark will always be the best one.
Is that the one?
Well,
where
see,
he
I
gets
disagree.
nuked?
I say Temple of Doom.
Well, the thing is with that is you're wrong.
Temple of
That's-
Doom
that's a
with
good
the
argument,
lava
but-
pit and
but-
the
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the first one I saw. Oh,
That's the second one.
What's the first one that I physically saw?
Yeah, your argument was good, but let me counteract with you're wrong.
No, because that's where you're wrong.
See, I don't
That's
think
where
it
you're
is. I think it's where I'm right.
No. Raiders of the Lost Ark was best. Anyway, this isn't Indiana Jones talk.
Yeah, let's go
although
back to horror.
The majority of this so far has been Indiana Jones. So,
Back on track.
I think
Martin,
we've got the artwork.
what kind of horror films do you like?
Two different types. I like.
Which is your most favourite?
Well, the one that I would watch more frequently would be the whole zombie-ish one.
You go zombies as well.
Yeah, but because I had a theory on this, that it's all about sort of the whole escapism sort of thing. It's like where people play Grand Theft Auto. Because there are no rules. You can go around, you can rob a bank, you can shoot people. In a post-apocalyptic thing with zombies and that, you don't have to pay your taxes, you don't have to obey the speed limit, you can just go around and do crazy shit. And that's what I think people like, that whole cut loose sort of thing.
Cut loose.
Yeah.
Everybody cut loose.
Yeah, with that. But
And that's, of course, you meet Negan and his saviours.
zombie films don't scare me. In like what you would watch a horror movie. I would think you would say you'd watch a horror movie to be scared or to get the heart rate up. Now things like your I don't know, stuff with jump scares, that sort of thing. Like
We'll get to that.
yeah, like that the stuff where you get that sort of thing. It's like it's weird. I mean, it's like even Doctor Who with the Reaping Angels. Not a specific horror thing, but that made people shat their pants.
The
Like,
Weeping
there's
Angels
like-
were awesome.
Kind
I-
of horror theme.
yeah, but I like that sort of thing because it's just sort of
Well, it's
impending doom.
it's the same with like more so the original Daleks. Like
Yeah,
when they
was-
first. I mean,
I
my
was going to
dad
bring that
took-
up when he said about the Weeping Angel. I was going to say, yeah, nowadays the Weeping Angels are what terrified Doctor
Yeah,
Who viewers.
that-
But back in the 60s, what had British TV viewers hiding behind the back of their sofas? It was the Daleks.
Yeah,
when
my-
they
People
first
my
have
came
dad
into
never
would
it.
seen anything
tell me
like
about
that
that.
before. They've never seen anything like
No.
that. I remember being at Sci-Fi of Scarborough and I asked that question to... I can't remember what the lass's name was. She was one at Companions and the dude who voiced and played Davros.
Oh, Ace.
Ace and Davros. And I said to him, I says, apart from the Daleks, which characters or which Doctor Who bad guys gave you that scare like people were scared of the Daleks? And the Davros dude said the Weeping Angels. I thought that was brilliant. But the woman what played Ace said a good one. It was, I can't remember even if it had a name, but it was the World War II one with the kid with the gas mask.
Are you my mummy?
Are
The
you
gas
my-
mask zombies.
Yeah, and
We've got
then-
back to zombies again.
And then she
Comes
was
full
she was
circle.
saying that when she watched that episode, she had to pause it halfway through because her kid was shouting down to the stairs. And then she said just after watching that, she looks upstairs and silhouetted at the top, there's this little kid going, "Mummy," and that. And she says, "You know you are scared when you have to think twice about hugging your own child." And that. And I was like, that. So there you go. But yeah, Doctor Who, if it's done right, can be scary.
So that was your first one. What was your other one?
Oh, there was. It's almost sort of you jump scary sort of. Woman in Black did it quite well.
Oh, see, I didn't enjoy that. I found it boring.
So that's
Well,
like
I-
more of like a psychological.
Yeah, but
horror.
that's it. It does. I liked it in the way that it went. All sort of modern horror films have been like they're not particularly scary. It's just like splatter films and stuff like that. They're not particularly scary, but it was back to an old school. It's just sort of like some bits where there's one of the scenes
I heard
where Harry Potter stood in the corner, and then you just see this rock. It's just
Harry Potter.
Yeah, there's this rocking chair just going backwards and forwards, just next to the
magic.
camera, and you don't think anything of it until like the very last frame. You go and there's this face on the rocking chair, there's this woman on the rocking chair, and it cuts to the next scene, and everyone's like, what just happened there? And it's just sort of like good old
See,
school.
that's
just
I
sort of-
mean, I personally like a psychological horror.
Yeah.
Something that builds up the suspense, and once it's built up, nothing even needs to happen because your heart rate's done all
you're
the
on
work
edge
for
the
you.
whole time.
Because the first time I watched Paranormal Activity,
Oh, good God.
the thing is, it's obviously controversial because I'm guessing by that you don't like it.
Oh, I
Thing is,
despised it.
it's It's a mega slow burner. Now,
Yeah.
I watched the original ending, which wasn't the theatrical ending.
See, I never saw it at the cinema. The first one I actually watched was a naughty version, if you know what I mean. It wasn't quite kosher.
See, in my family, they're called Johnny Depp's.
Okay, yes, it was a Johnny Depp. I like that. It was a Johnny Depp one, and how did it end? Oh, she walked up to the camera and cut her own
slit her
throat.
See,
Which
they-
isn't the original end. The
No.
proper ending, is it? Is
No,
where she
they-
throws him at the camera and then launches at the screen.
that was the theatrical ending.
And it's the ending on the DVD as well.
Yeah, but they also threw the throat slit in as well, but that was always like a backup. Now, the original one, when the direct...
No, that wasn't the one I saw. That was an alternate. The one that was in the Johnny Depp one, she sat on the floor rocking like hell.
And the police
come
come
in,
in.
and she
Yes.
stands up, and then the door
See-
slams in the background, which startles the hell out of them, and they shoot her dead.
Yes, because she snaps out of her trance.
Despite having been sat
She-
there for like 3 days.
Yes, she doesn't know what's happening. She's delirious. She gets up. She's still got the knife in her hand, and then she's walking towards the police as they shouting at her,
And
telling
then
her
that door
to stop.
slams.
But she doesn't know what's happening, and then she gets shot because she's come at the police with a knife.
Not just that, there's a door in the background that slams shut
Yeah,
and it
that-
makes them jump, which is why they open fire.
But that was the original ending. But then Hollywood got hold of it and were like, we can milk this. And then so they wanted to film an ending where it can drag off into another one. Hence the barrage of
See, I've seen the second and third
the
one.
barrage of bombers of other ones
The
that have
barrage
come
of-
out.
I've seen the second and third one. Was there any more than that?
There's some like spin-offs which I don't generally care about. What I find with Paranormal Activity is that it's gone down in value. Now, the first one I thought was great. The second one was meh. The third one's like, really? And then anything after that's just not right.
A good one that I think kind of crosses both the psychological and the zombie barrier is the original, I think it was Spanish of Wreck. Which was
Oh, I
really...
Yeah.
saw that at yours. Wasn't it called Quarantine?
No, Quarantine
that's
is
the
the
American
is the
remake.
Oh, the Wreck
Well,
is the original. Yeah, I watched that at yours when you were
Yeah.
at the other place, your flat.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that one was. I like that because you've got the zombies, you've got the stuff, but it's all sort of like stuff happening off in other things, and it kind of follows.
And you didn't even see that much. There was no
Exactly,
gore or well, there was a bit of gore, but nothing major, no major CGI,
Everything's implied.
This is the whole psychological aspect.
and it worked really well.
Yeah. So you've got your zombies, but you've got your kind of off-camera, kind of almost Woman in Blackish, sort of like what the hell was that, and then it's gone sort of
Now,
element.
The thing with Paranormal Activity is, again, neither of you seem to like it. What I liked about it is that I don't mind a slow burner if it's going to do something. And the thing is, when the night comes, as the days roll on, and you hear that kind of like that white noisy drone in the background, it's like when night comes, you know something could happen. And that's the whole, like, your heart rate. That's like the dread coming in. It's like, oh, what's going to
happen? Yeah, I will admit the very first one, I did have those moments.
When
what's going to happen tonight?
Yeah, and because it got like worse as the nights rolled on, when the next night's coming, it's like, oh, here we go. So you're like, you prop yourself up in your chair kind of thing, and so on and so forth. But then that first time when she gets dragged off down the hall. Now, I was really invested in the film at that point, and that part gave me goosebumps. It was like,
How kinky was the ghost, though? She had a bite mark on her ass.
well, if you're going to bite someone somewhere.
I think the only part in that film that made me jump was the fact that
It didn't make me jump.
No, there
it was
was
just
one-
like, oh, God, that happened.
there was one bit that made me jump, and it was like nothing had really happened. You'd seen the covers ripple, and one of the doors had slightly
fired.
moved. The door slightly moved, things like that. And out of nowhere, the door just slammed.
Yeah.
That did make me jump because the TV was on loud and nothing at that point had happened. So it just went bang. And I was like, fuck me.
Now, just breaking onto people jumping, Martin. Me and Martin went to watch The Nun the other day. We'll do a review on it at some point.
Had
Right.
I
Now-
seen the other two films and not been at work, I would
He's
have
not
joined
seen
you
the
for
other
that.
two films.
Yeah, fair enough. But had I not been at work and had some money, I probably
But-
would have joined you.
Not going into it because this isn't the review episode. Watching that in the cinema with Martin sat next to me was like me trying to meditate on a bouncy castle when there's a party going on behind me. He jumps like a frog. And there he is with his popcorn sloshing around.
Oh, God, did the
I'm
popcorn
trying to-
end up everywhere?
I'm trying to
Not
watch the
quite.
film, and he's like, "Oh, for God's sake!" And he's like murmuring, and like he's trying to man it up afterwards. It's like,
Yeah, trying to regain his composure.
sit back up in his
What was-
seat. And,
I just remember seeing that one bit and looking at you like, no, we're not having that. No, you got weirded out as well.
because I was expecting it. Like I can't even remember what happened at that bit, but one of them was going in somewhere, and I was like, "Nope, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't. I would not do that, even if I was a."
Oh, you weren't the stereotypical black woman where you don't go in there, don't go behind the door.
No, I can actually.
Oh, here
the
we go.
nun's racist.
Is it?
There's
Here
no
we go.
black people in it.
Oh, okay.
There we go. That's
It's not
right.
anti-religious. There's a nun in it,
It's
Yeah.
racist.
and a priest.
And a priest, and a not quite nun that becomes a nun.
Well, she's like a trainee nun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you jump terribly at films,
Yeah.
and I've only noticed while having to sit next to you. You jump really easily,
It was a good.
and it shocks me how much you jump.
It's a good because I
It's like
have-
someone could drop a pencil and be like, "Oh, Jesus!"
So was it that good a movie then?
it had some.
It was all right.
It's good. The
It's
problem.
all right if you're him who
the prob-
jumps at everything.
The problem with jump scares now is that everyone knows when they're coming. So what you know it's a good film is if you get to a point
Catches you
where,
off
where
guard.
you know it's gonna come, but then they just drag it out, and you just do it already, just make it happen, and then nothing happens, and then you're like, oh, it's fine.
That's
And
it. Then
all
when
of a
you
sudden,
think
boom,
it's
it
calmed
happens.
down,
Yeah,
like when that nun's coming up behind her and she like looks,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden another one comes in at the side. It's like how raptors
fully-
attack.
yeah.
Oh, great, the nun's a raptor now.
And that's when they
Velocinuns.
come at you.
Velocinuns.
Not from behind, but from the side.
None are raptors.
It would have been great if you just heard before she hit the wall. Clever girl.
Oh, good times.
Yeah.
Good times. So, what other horror movies do you like? Like, what's like your go-to horror films? I know. Like, I'm talking specific films now.
Okay.
What can you constantly go back to, and why?
It's a tough one. I haven't actually watched it in a while now, but I'm going to have to say George A. Romero's Land of the Dead. The one with Big Daddy, as Martin previously mentioned, the zombie who fills up cars.
Oh, where
Yeah,
they've,
yeah,
where
I
they've got
get
the weird rocket truck that they drive around in.
Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, like the tank truck.
That
With
was
with the sky flowers.
Yeah, that was actually the project name of the film, Dead Reckoning. Before they came up with Land of the Dead.
It's been a while since I've seen that, but that's got that actor. I can't remember his name now.
Dennis Hoffman?
Dennis Hopper.
Hopper, sorry.
No,
Uh,
it's not that. He was in 24 as well.
John Leguizamo?
That's the one. Now, I watched a film with him in. It was called The Vanishing on 34th Street.
Not heard of it.
It was a real... I really wanted to like that film, but it just kind of like failed a little bit. And he worked in a cinema, and like all of a sudden he like goes into the back room or something, and everyone's just disappeared. And the thing is, it's a case of if you go into the shadows get you, and that's it. You're just gone.
That's an episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Vashta Narada.
That's an entire episode of Doctor
Actually,
Who.
it's two,
Right
it was
there.
a two-parter. Two episodes of Doctor Who.
Either or. I don't know which came first.
2007 or 8. It was David Tennant's Doctor,
Yeah, I don't know.
with Donna Noble
Well,
as his companion.
Either way, it was a really good idea, and I really wanted to like it. It just so much more could have happened. It was like a really low budget film, but he was in it, and he kind of went like a bit loopy in it. But it was a really good idea, and it just kind of like failed to deliver a little bit. But
See,
Do you know
I don't mind him.
Talking
He's a
of John
good guy.
yeah, he is John Leguizamo. What surprises me is I've seen him in 2 live action movies. One of them being Land of the Dead, the other one being the so bad it's actually good Mario Brothers film. He plays Luigi.
Yeah.
And he always, in those 2 films, although one of them's an arsehole and the other one's just a wise ass, he's like very sort of suave Italian, not mafia, but cool guy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then you realise he also voices Sid the Sloth in the Ice Age movies. It's like, really? That's John Leguizamo?
He's multi-talented,
He's
that guy.
Sid the Sloth.
I like him in John Wick.
Not seen John Wick yet.
Oh my god. Just
The list's just growing,
Just
isn't it?
killing puppies.
yeah.
But yeah, Land of the Dead, I enjoy watching it over and over. You know, I pretty much know every line off by heart.
Man.
And Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have a cameo role in it.
Yeah, because
Yeah, because they were on set at the time, weren't they?
Yeah. So in the
didn't someone have like a cameo role in Shaun of the Dead, and that's why they
I
swapped
don't
over?
know about that. They probably did, but I don't know. But yeah, they played 2 zombies that were chained up, and you could be
got your
shooting with
picture
paintball
taken
guns.
with-
Oh, picture taken, that was
Was
it.
it?
Yeah.
Been
No,
a
the
while.
paintball gun was a different zombie.
Right.
But yeah, it's the whole society's rebuilding despite this, and they've still managed to maintain a class system despite the apocalypse. You know, you've got the upper people living
Yeah,
in the tower, and you've got the
yeah.
lower class living in the slums. It's like the world's ended, the dead outnumber the living, and you're still dealing with shit like this.
Money's money at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
money's money when the world's
Alright.
ended. What the hell?
Think about it this way. Look at all different civilizations across the world, separated by thousands of miles and in some cases thousands of years. Every civilization has a class system of some description. You'd have like your upper class, your lower class. Sort of like you'd have like your Vikings, you'd have like your warrior class, your kings and all that. Then you'd have like your lower downs, your servants and your slaves and stuff
See,
like that. And
After so many years of a zombie apocalypse, and there will be some form of normality go on, and that's what Land of the Dead is showing.
I just think it's
It's like
strange.
they've adapted. They've managed to
I know, and it's-
build
that's-
a wall,
That's kind of
have a
what
city.
brings the sadness out, though. The fact that you know that humanity would do that, instead of banding together as one to just like take the Earth back. They're just fuck it, we'll just take this little corner and we'll build up a class system.
Greed will
Yeah.
But that's how
take
it would,
hold.
how it work. We're not going to just like have a zombie apocalypse and go, do you know what? Let's be communists or something like that.
Let's be communists so that we're all equal in wiping out these undead, and then we can maybe establish a class system once the Earth gets back on its feet, not while we're still outnumbered 100 to 1.
No, that's just how you would build up a civilization in a way that works in a way that you know, and then you would do it that way. Yeah, you're always going to have like even if you've got like a tribe, like you build a tribe of like survivors, you're always going to have like your leader. You're always going to have like people who do different
Well, that's because the
things.
leader needs to be appointed.
Yes, but you're always going to have sort of like a hierarchy of needs, whether that be established by someone being physically dominant or things. So it's going to happen everywhere.
So, what's your go-to like horror films? Specific names.
Aliens. I know it's not horror, but
Again, it's still an aspect of horror.
yeah, Alien or Aliens. I'll say if it's a film that I could just go, let's have some of that. I like it. It's quite good. And there's like newer films that I sort of quite enjoy that I would probably watch again. Like I watched A Quiet Place. That's a long back.
That's good.
And that
I haven't seen that yet, and I want to. I really want. I would have
I've got
loved.
it down here.
I really would have liked to have seen it at the cinema because it seems like the kind of thing that you would have.
Yeah,
to
I
see.
saw it at the cinema. I went with my friend and we sat there, and there was a few people in there with like the buckets of popcorn, but they just weren't eating it.
Yeah, I
Because
was going
it
to say
like-
one of you told me about that.
Yeah,
like,
it was
they were
me.
just too shit scared to eat
Exactly.
because of how quiet it was.
Yeah, and they didn't want to be the one that making a noise. But
And at the end of the film, they're walking out with full buckets
whenever
of popcorn.
something was going on and things got like quite loud, or the music was quite loud, you'd see people like shoveling popcorn into their mouth because they're taking that time to like eat.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of film you want to like take a bag of crisps or something in with. But you can eat some strange
Nobody
foods,
takes their own food into the cinemas because that would be naughty.
Yeah, well, regardless, I do. And I went to, I think it was It, and I went with my friend, and we
obviously
went
not the
to, no, we went to Asda first, and I got whatever screen snacks, and my friend like took a yogurt.
Yogurt.
Yeah, I've got a picture somewhere. She's just like sat down eating a yogurt, like a mull of rice or
Where did
something.
where did you get the spoon from?
Well, you just get the plastic spoons like from the salad bar. Genius.
The amount of effort that they went through just for that yogurt. That's.
Whereas either
impressive.
that or a pack of donuts, but
So
I'm
you-
sure I've done a pack of donuts in the cinema before.
You've seen the new It then?
Yes,
How does it compare to the original?
I haven't seen either. of them.
different.
See, I've seen the entire original, and then I saw the trailer for the new one, which is basically the first bit where Georgie loses his boat down the
Yeah.
sewer, and I just couldn't get into it because the first It, Pennywise played by Tim Curry, he was really engaging in that he tried to lure the child in. He tried to lure him into a false sense of security, like when he when Georgie said, "My dad said
He was grooming
Yeah.
them.
no. My dad says I'm not allowed to
Just
talk
Jimmy
to."
Savile in the sewer. Do you want to come down into my sewer?
The boat goes down the thing. You just hear now then, now then.
Just some cigar smoke coming out of the drain.
That needs to be made.
And anyway,
Go on.
yeah, but when Georgie says I'm not allowed to speak to strangers, my dad says so. Tim Curry's Pennywise goes, "Oh, very wise of your dad, very wise indeed." He compliments the child's dad,
Yeah.
and then he introduces himself and says, "I know you, you know me now. We know each other. We're not strangers and all that." And although he does have a very deep, raspy voice for a clown, he's doing everything in his power to be friendly and encouraging.
Yeah.
Whereas the new It is just creepy. He's like,
Well,
"Hi,
that's
Georgie."
you can tell is more unhinged, but he's still trying to like lure victims.
Yeah, but he's not trying very hard. No kid with anything more than half a brain cell would
Because-
reach down for that boat the way that Pennywise
Kids
talks.
nowadays have no brain cells.
Okay, point.
Kids these
But
days.
But again, yes, it's a whole remake thing, but they've also got to take into account it's a different audience now. And
yeah, but they
a
got
new
still got to make it
audience-
believable, surely.
Yeah, but a new audience isn't going to be swayed by traditional Pennywise. They'll say it's too much of a copy. They need something different.
So they
which
just
is-
made it completely unbelievable by making him creepy as hell, so that the child would in no way
Yeah.
reach down for the boat at all.
Well, he was reluctant to do it. And the thing is, like, Pennywise was, like, holding it up. And when Georgie was reaching in, it's like pulling it back towards him a bit, so he's having to reach a bit further.
See, if as a kid, if I saw
Yeah,
the
but this
Tim
is
Curry
you.
Pennywise, I would go for the boat. Whereas if I saw the whatever the actor's
This
name
is
is who did the
you.
new one, I'd be like, yeah, no,
Everybody's
you can
different.
keep the boat, mate.
Georgie's worried that his brother is going to beat him or something if he loses that boat. So he really wants that boat. He's not been lured in just because...
What, was that part of the actual story? Because it wasn't in the original.
Well, it is in this one.
Ah.
The
Well,
boat...
see, that makes more sense. if
his
he's,
brother made the boat.
yeah.
And then it flowed off down.
And he was worried his brother was going to beat him up for that.
Well, he was worried that his brother was going to be cross.
See, that
so-
makes more sense now,
like-
because that never happened in the original. It was literally just a case of Pennywise was really friendly to him and lured him down.
No, I mean it's friendly to an extent because it is saying, "Oh, can you smell those smells, Georgie? What is it?" And it's like, "Oh, there's popcorn and there's hot dogs and things like that." And he's like, "Yeah." But you can see like Pennywise is like kind of twitching as well. It's like, "Come on." So like he holds the boat up towards him so he can reach in, and it's like, "Oh, I shouldn't." And I said, "But you don't want to go home without the boat now, do you, Georgie?" It's like, "Your brother would be cross." So he like
That makes
reaches in a
more
bit
sense.
and he's
He's
pulling
using
it back a
blackmail.
little until his hand's like right in there and he just like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then it is split into two films. Whereas like
The
the
original's
first one
in one
was like
film,
one
wasn't it?
long
Yeah.
one. They've done this one and then they'll be making the second part when they're all older.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they can make more money out of it.
Yeah, but
Like with The Hobbit.
it kind of makes more sense.
I knew that was going to get him
Yeah,
going.
it always does. But this makes more sense. Like, it didn't feel like the film was dragged out. Like, if anything, the original it almost seemed kind of rushed
Yeah.
to like cram all that into
Considering
like,
it's
one
a Stephen
film.
King book.
Yeah. But in this one, it paces right and it works. Just hoping like the second part when it comes out is good.
Well, that's the thing is though, they've got no incentive to make it good because you've already seen the first one. You're going to come back.
No,
to the
you've seen
second
half of the first one.
Well, that's it. You've already seen the first part. People are going to come back and see the second part, regardless of how good it is, just because they feel they have to complete the story.
Exactly, and
That
that's how it
is
works.
why-
And if they make it good, then, that's a bonus. So there. So, as far as zombie films go then, your go-to is Land
Land of the Dead.
of the Dead. Yours is original Dawn of the Dead? Was that it?
That was one of the earlier ones I'd seen. The ones that I would go back and watch would be like 28 Days. Yeah,
See?
you're gonna say it's not a zombie film, but it was a good take of the sort of the evolution of the theme.
Like I say, for me, it both is and isn't at the same time. It's like it's the Schrodinger's cat of zombie films.
See, my go-to one will probably be, you're going to hate this, maybe, the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
See, I did actually enjoy that. I went to see it at the cinema with my stepdad, and there was
I
literally
saw
just...
it at the cinema.
Well, my mum had to go to a doctor's appointment outside the outskirts of Liverpool, I think it was. And me and my stepdad had some time to kill while she was there. So we just found
Time to Kill. Relevant.
we just found the cinema, and it had Dawn of the Dead. And I wasn't actually 18; I think I was 17 at the time. But we just blagged it anyway. We both went in.
You're
And
a tall person, you could get away with that.
exactly. And we were the only two in there. We had the entire room to ourselves and just watched the film. I loved it. I mean, they are the shrieking, snarling, running demon zombies, but it was still a good film.
And Sarah Paul is in it, and she's a pretty lady.
Which one's she?
The main blonde woman.
Oh, the main character.
I remember it
I
now.
prefer the
She's the
redhead.
one who's the nurse,
Well.
and her husband
she's
gets
the nurse.
killed by the little girl at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
I remember the film now. I was trying to think, have I seen that?
Yeah, do you remember that very...
With the boat at the end.
Who?
The boat at the end.
Yeah. Do you remember during the credits there's like that millisecond flicker of lesbionics in the credits?
I am familiar with this scene.
Yeah, I thought
It's
you
obvious.
would be.
You were the first one to spot it. You probably put
yeah,
it in there.
Actually, it was Martin that pointed it out
Yeah,
to me. when
there's a point.
We were watching at his old friend's house, and he said, just keep watching the credits, and if you watch carefully, you'll see there's bit of two girls, and it's oh, there it is. Which I hadn't seen it in the cinema,
See,
thank God.
I really liked the remake. I thought it was good, and that, I mean, is that what kind of set off the whole zombie thing?
But I think that was
The
sort
Dawn of the Dead remake is what brought it back,
Yeah,
yes.
the problem is, it's just a genre that's so overplayed now.
I mean, it is now, but
It's popular, it's good, but
I thought Ving Rhames was brilliant at it.
Ving Rhames. Oh, the black cop guy.
Yeah, he was a cop. But then I was
Yeah,
really
probably
looking
shouldn't
forward.
point out the fact he was black. Ving Rhames is black. It's not going to be the white cop, is
Yeah.
he?
That'd be awkward.
you racist.
Yeah,
But-
racist.
Like, I was really looking forward when I first heard that we're also remaking, what was it? Day of the Dead, and Ving Rhames is in it again.
I haven't seen
saw-
that.
Yes, and then I watched it and I was like, no,
What's... I've not seen the remake
no,
of Day of the Dead.
don't.
Does it stick to the original story then?
I don't care. It was incredibly awful, and I thought, after the brilliance that was the remake of Dawn of the Dead, this one was one of the worst zombie films I've ever seen. The thing is, like, the zombies in this were running.
What, even worse than that Kentucky Fried Zombies we watched at mine?
Okay, this makes it the second worst zombie film that I've ever seen.
That was just appalling.
Have you not
But-
seen Zombie Strippers?
Yes, I have.
That just sounds like a good film.
It is.
There you go.
Awesome.
So even that was better than your Kentucky Fried Zombies. But the thing is, the zombies were running in this remake, which is fine because we saw that in Dawn of the Dead. However, the way they did it is they filmed the actors running, and then they sped up the footage. So it was like a
super running.
It was like a Benny Hill sketch because his arms running around, flailing around everywhere.
For a minute, I thought you were going to say it was like hundreds of Usain Bolts.
And then it would switch back to like when one of the normal actors is there, and all of a sudden they've quickly like slowed down running. It's like, this is an appalling film.
Yeah.
Like,
running
after
zombies
that
don't
hash of what it was.
bother me though.
They don't bother me.
They don't
so
bother me,
they
but
just-
when they're running like Sonic the Hedgehog,
Oh yeah,
it looks ridiculous.
But I mean, yeah, how it's deployed, yeah. But I mean, just the idea of a zombie running, because people have seen slow zombies, and it's not scary. Just like all we have to do is walk at a brisk pace
yeah,
in
but
the
that's
opposite
the thing,
direction.
though. No, a big enough group of shuffling
I'm not
zombies.
a runner. I'd rather like
Yeah,
escape
but
at a
what I'm
brisk
saying
pace.
is the audience in general just aren't scared of an extremely slow-moving group of zombies.
Even when it's a herd and you find yourself trapped and you can see the death coming at a very
Is it a
slow
herd?
pace.
Yeah,
Like a
but
herd of
that's
A
a
herd
that-
of zombies, yeah.
that-
You watch
that's-
Walking Dead, they
That's
call
a
them
very
herds.
limited situation to be in. Just the idea, just take one single zombie. If for example, if I had to, well, I'm gonna have to go home, but eventually, if I found a zombie outside and I'd be like,
You're not coming back in here.
yeah, I'd just be like, I'm just gonna go home. I'll just walk home. That'd be it. It wouldn't bother me. Whereas
Yeah,
if
but
I
you
went
get
outside-
out of breath walking up that hill.
Yeah, but if
You'd
there's
have to
some-
hope it didn't see you get home.
Yeah, but if there's some big snarling, monstery zombie that's absolutely legging it after me, then yes, that would intimidate me slightly because I'd be like, I've got to run now.
Yeah.
I don't do any of
No, we're talking the realism thing. Yes, running zombies in real life would be more terrifying because you'd have to run away from them. Whereas,
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Yeah, but in the movie sense, when you're watching scary movies, I find the slow-moving, shuffling, moaning zombies more scary because not only is it the whole herd thing, you know, when they're big numbers, they are extremely dangerous, but also the mentality, the dead eyes, the moaning, the shuffling, the fact their limbs are falling off and things
Every
like
day
that.
I'm shuffling.
You couldn't. With running zombies, you can do a lot more of a lot less.
But with running zombies, they're basically just demons.
It's easier to make one running zombie scary than it is to make one shuffling zombie scary.
One shuffling zombie, if you don't hear it coming, is extremely terrifying. When you suddenly find your neck being bitten out,
Yes, I know, but
you're more likely
It'll be
to be
spitting
angry.
hairs out of his neck,
what I'm
right?
saying is, it's audiences
You're more-
in general just aren't afraid of shuffling zombies anymore. Yes, they can be scary. Yes, it can be intimidating, but as a whole, it's just not. Yeah, people aren't fussed anymore.
Depending, I mean, they can like creep up on you.
Yeah, jump scare scenes with zombie films tend
That's the
to
point.
be
You'll just be jumping all over the place.
jump scare zombie films tend to be the slow shuffling ones because you know they'll be the character will be looking at whatever, doing whatever. They won't have heard a zombie. They'll turn around suddenly. It's this rotting face right there in the screen.
28 days later. 28 days later, stood next to the window, camera pans around, it's right there behind them. That is one of the best jump scares ever. And you go, jumps in,
Which
smashes his face in. It's all good.
Yeah,
Which
that's
bit's
like
that?
towards the end where they're in
20
the big mansion.
Yeah.
Just before like they
Oh,
get
28
attacked.
days later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they break through the perimeter and they,
Yeah, but then there's a bit where there's the one that they had tied up.
Mailer.
Yeah, and there's a bit where it just sort of you see him and it just sort of pans around and he's there. He's just like stood next to him behind the glass. That I mean that's scary because he jumps through the thing. It's intense. Something does. If that was a slow zombie, it'd be like, oh, he's there.
tapping at the window.
Yeah, just tap at the window like just close curtains. He'll go away.
But sometimes this tenacity of it can be what's scary. For example, barricades that could keep 100 armed men out have fallen to one single determined zombie.
Now-
Because they never tire, they never feel pain.
Walls mean nothing if you're going to World War Z.
That's not scary though.
Yeah,
It's
because
in-
they just climb up.
It's intense. It's got some good bits, but they're not.
Like if there was any zombie film to be real, that would be the last
To
thing
be honest,
I'd want to be real.
I found that funny in parts. Like when that zombie goes into the room with him after he's injected himself, and it's just sat there doing all them jaw movements and squeaking. It's like,
There's-
what the
I like the bit
hell?
where he gets the can of Pepsi.
Oh,
He's like, that one's like,
Yeah, product
just
placement.
make
much.
it as subtle as you can. Get
Especially
in
when he
there.
presses the button, they all just come flying out. It's like
Yeah.
Pepsi everywhere.
The best thing about that kind of ending is that Peter Capaldi was in it, and he was in the Who building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
was
his credit is
everyone
Who Doctor. Yeah.
And they were saying, oh, it wasn't some subtle thing. At that point,
Yeah,
he knew
yeah.
he was going to be the thing. So that was it was clever. I do like that film in as much that it starts off. It's this big, massive adventure around the world. These big set pieces. It ends in a village in Wales.
Well,
it's
I mean,
No, it ends in Nova Scotia.
yeah, but I mean, it's sort of
The climax is in.
yeah. That's kind of
Wales,
like
yeah.
the
Epilogue.
the epilogue, yeah. But the sort of the main bit.
but the problem is the film had such an issue with the whole thing being made that they couldn't afford to do the ending that they wanted to do.
What did they want to do? I don't
Where
know.
Brad Pitt is in Russia because he's been split from his family. He's like on guard duty or something there, and it was, I think, if I believe rightly, it was him escaping to come back to the UK to find his wife and kid. But they couldn't afford to do it, so they just had to do what they did with the whole like Who building and stuff like that instead.
See, I'm
Wales is cheaper to film than Russia, I suppose.
I'm quite surprised they actually made a film. Have you actually read the original book, World War
I
Z?
haven't, but it's like a
I've tried
series
reading
of
them,
diaries.
but-
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a series of diaries, newspaper collectives, internet things.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no story to it at all. There are elements in the book that they use in the film. For example, in Jerusalem, when that or wherever it is, where that guy's telling him about the 10th man theory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's in the
Jerusalem.
book, and so on. But
Is it also in the book that it only takes like 2 minutes to completely refuel like an aircraft,
no? Funnily
like a
enough.
huge cargo
Funnily enough, no, that
plane?
bit wasn't mentioned.
The problem with what works in it, well, it's a well-known thing. What works in a book doesn't necessarily translate to film.
Yeah.
The problem with a book told from multiple different perspectives, if you're watching a film to gather your attention, you would have a central character that you can sort of like attach yourself to.
I'm not
And
saying
you
it's a
can-
bad thing they made a film or that the story's bad. I'm saying I'm surprised they decided to make a story-driven film from a book that has no story.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the book wouldn't have worked as a film,
Yeah,
so
so
they had
why,
to do
why
that.
didn't they make a zombie film out of something else?
What are the most?
Why did they choose that book in particular?
Good source material.
But there are plenty of good zombie books out there.
Well, they chose that one.
Yeah,
Ones that actually have stories as well.
maybe Brad Pitt would just wanted to.
Do you reckon if they do a sequel to World War Z, it'll be the same as the book sequel?
Well, they're
The Zombie
trying to do
Survival
a
Guide?
sequel, but again, it's there's just like production issues.
Well, World War Z, the book, has a sequel called The Zombie Survival Guide, which
That's not
I
a
also
sequel,
It
I
is.
don't
It
think.
was the very next
I
book.
do
they brought
have
out.
the Zombie Survival Guide.
It was the
and
follow-on
It was
from-
really good.
It is, isn't it? It's the follow-on from World War Z. So if there's a sequel to the film World War Z, it should be The Zombie Survival Guide.
I've just read a book. Yeah.
Fuck me.
Words, no
It wasn't like
pictures,
the
nothing.
book of Amun Ra, was it?
No,
You're not going to summon the.
It wasn't
mummy.
A is for Apple, is it?
No,
Is it a
Hungry
touchy? Is
Caterpillar.
it a touchy-feely book?
Hey, let's not go into that.
Is it the Very Hungry Caterpillar?
I think I said that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Thing with the like, he'd be less hungry if he ate the entire thing and not just,
Just
a
a hole through it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, it's
get
very
a grip,
wasteful, isn't it?
eat the lot.
But no, I read a book called Red Harvest, and it's a Star Wars zombie book.
Oh.
It's the second of two. The first one is called Death Troopers, and the sort of the short version of it in the first one is it takes part on an Imperial prison barge, and there's a couple of different characters it revolves around. There's two brothers who are locked in there. Before the book started, recently their father was killed on the prison barge, and then there's like the Doctor who sort of like
The
helps.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, the sort of the Doctor. Yeah, Shizzle goes down. The prison barge breaks down, and in the system that they break down in, they found a derelict Star Destroyer. They go on board, find out the Empire's been doing experiments, and there's zombies. But it's a weird one because it starts off in as much as it's sort of like zombies and scariness and people are ripped apart and all that sort of thing. But then it turns out that the zombies sort of work together. There's like a kind of a collective sort of consciousness, kind
Like
of
a pack.
a kind of a We Are Borg sort of thing
Ah.
going on in a certain thing, and they do stuff and that because it's not zombies. It's like doing like Sith magic and crap like that. Anyway, there's all that sort of thing. Shizzle goes down and whatever. The Red Harvest that I've just read is set in the Old Republic, so the Death Troopers is set like within like 3 or 4 years before A New Hope, so it's in that bracket. And there is a part where this enormous Wookiee comes out of a cell, and this short Corellian man comes out saying, "Calm down, Chewie," and that. So that happens. But in the early one, it's back in the Old Republic and that, and there's the dude that created the virus, and it's sort of like a prequel, an origin story for the sickness, as it's called in that, and that's quite good. I like that. That was a good take, because it's not just Star Wars in the sense it's all Star Wars, but it's like, whereas you might put in the novelisation of Phantom Menace, it's kind of Obi-Wan Kenobi cut Darth Maul in half, he fell down a hole. You know, but I mean, obviously it's going to be a bit better than that, but that is going to be the level of description that you receive. Whereas in this one, there's a dude gets pinned to a wall by a spear, and you can see, you know, it describes how the blood's dripping down to the end of the spear and dripping into a hole where and he falls off, and you can see the hole and the bits and pieces inside it, and there's sort of,
So
it's really good.
let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You read a book.
You read a book.
Yes.
Stole my joke.
Sorry.
God damn it.
I'm so sorry.
I've read.
I'm the funny one.
No, you're not. I'm the funny one, damn it.
Yeah, I like that because it's all kind of on the. It's a new take on the classic concept of zombies. It's not just your slow meandering zombies. It starts off as that, but evolves into, you know, like Sith magic and shit like that. That's created these. And there's like the Force and there's all that kind of crazy shit. So it's not just and then it eats your brains sort of thing. I mean, there's some.
Return of the Living Dead.
It's
I haven't
good
seen
as
that
well
in a long
because it's
time.
properly brutal in the first book. Well, properly brutal in both books. I mean, the first book, there's this bit where...
Welcome to Usual Paddy Book Club.
Yeah. Well,
We all read a book once.
Oh.
This is the one I read. I read the Zombie Survival Guide.
But it's... Oh, my brain's going mental now. Anyway, what was it? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, stuff. They walk past a room and they see a cell, and it's got like 2-3 dead Wookiees in there, and then they notice something in the back, and it's like, oh, there's something moving, and they have that sort of build of suspense. Turns out to be this young baby Wookiee that's like 6 foot tall anyway. But anyway, and this thing's really sad, and they're trying to get him to come out, and he won't come because his family's dead, he's scared and everything, and eventually they hear stuff in the distance, they have to go, and then you walk down the corridor, and then all they can hear is the screaming of this baby Wookiee being eaten by his recently reanimated family.
Damn, that's pretty dark.
That's hard.
It's properly brutal. It is properly nasty. The worst bit is they find that zombie baby Wookiee later on, and Chewbacca feels sorry for him. Because they're not just stupid zombies. He kind of remembers the whole let's be all sweet and innocent, then it jumps on him and Han Solo has to like blow this thing's head clean off. And that. So
Damn.
Zombies.
If that's... Yeah, you need to...
See, if the whole zombie apocalypse thing was real, could you put your nearest and dearest down?
Yes.
If they took... Oh, gee.
That was way too easy for you.
I'm ready now. I'm ready for them to sneeze wrong, and I'll do it.
This is one of the very few benefits of autism. I am able to shut off emotions.
You're able
like a
to
switch.
murder your family.
If
Oh
Sharon
my
was
God.
bitten by a zombie and came after me, I would put her down because I know she wouldn't want me to sacrifice my own life if hers was already
Well,
over.
if it makes you feel any better, I would shoot her as well.
What, Lisa?
No, I was talking about your missus.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Mine, I'll just lock her in cupboard.
If-
Oh, so you'll be one of them that like hope for a cure.
Yeah, sort of like...
Will he be the governor?
Yeah, the governor. Just,
Now,
yeah.
see, if
You're not going to keep like a head in a fish tank or something.
if say Sharon got bitten in the arm or the hand or whatever, I would immediately lop said arm or hand off
With
in the hope
what?
that the whatever sharp implement I have.
Would it be like in The
Don't forget, I have a
Simpsons?
katana. I would try and lop her hand off to stop the infection spreading.
Would it be like The Simpsons,
In what respect?
where they were in like
Four fingers?
Emirates or something, and someone had like been caught stealing, and was like, "Oh, we have to cut your arm off," and like holds it out. He holds like his left arm, and they're about to like cut it off. And say, "Oh, hang on, I need to take everything out my left pocket first."
Oh, I like that.
I think now that I'm actually thinking about it, I think say if like Kieran or Astrid got bitten, I wouldn't be able to just do it like that. I would hesitate.
No.
That'll be a different fact because kids.
And that's the sound of my sister coming up the stairs.
Fair
Yo,
enough.
Haley. So that's my sister. One day I will get her on this.
So if
podcast
it was
'cause
the
it'd be
apocalypse,
hilarious.
could you shoot your sister?
Dude, I'm waiting for her to come in drunk again, and I'm there. I'll grab the hatchet and just at it. Yeah. Well, that has literally just taken us to an hour, so we're going to wrap up part one. Any final thoughts about zombies? Because we'll try and avoid zombies in the next thing, so we're not just overlapping everything that we're saying. What do you need to say? Zombies.
Blunt force trauma or sharp objects.
That interesting. Let's drag this out for another half hour. 3 weapons.
Yep.
Let's first talk about the things that you actually have in your house that you can use. Because
Live bladed katana.
okay, so that's one. Second weapon. Think of what's in your house. Is it sharp?
No, but it would be good as a sort of knock them away weapon.
Oh, is
it
it
does
one
have
of them
sharp.
really big, long?
Yeah, it does
spiky
have
things?
sharp edges, but not like razor sharp.
So
So,
like
with
in-
enough force, I could go through its skull, but it would be mainly used as a get the away from me.
So it'll be
Give me
like
some breathing room weapon.
in original Gladiators when they had to run where they had the big.
Yeah, this is a
big
full-size
punchy things.
Klingon bat'leth.
I
Right.
like the idea of the. I'm going to have to be careful how I pronounce this. The phalanx, or however you do it, in the Spartans. You know, in 300, where they just push them and then stab and then back. Like that. That's what we need, is a load of spears, some leather speedos, and some zombies.
What if it's winter?
Leonidas didn't complain about winter.
never
Because
saw it in
everything like the
winter.
desert. Anyway,
Yeah.
third weapon.
Um,
What have you got?
a hunting knife.
Kind of a last
Up close
resort
and
thing,
personal.
isn't it?
Yeah, but you got to have like a
You
backup,
need
haven't
something like
The
that.
problem I've got with sharp objects is
They go blunt.
not necessarily you can
you?
resharpen.
Depends how good a
things.
quality it is.
You've got to kill a zombie, right?
Mm.
And you kill a zombie by dislocating its head, or severing the spinal cord, or destroying the brain. Is the general theory.
I'm saying
The
in true
brain is
zombie
the
things.
general.
Yeah, in true zombie things, cutting the head off doesn't kill him; it just renders the body useless. The head's
Okay,
still
alright,
active.
well, alright, it's even better. You've got a really, really thick skull. I'm not just insulting you, but people generally...
He probably doesn't.
Yeah, but people only have a thick skull. If you can hit them, not only have you got the problem of hitting them with enough force for the knife to go through the skull, you are not going to be able to get that knife back out again. Not without a proper bit of a fuss.
That's why you want to avoid serrated edges.
Not even a smooth blade, a small knife. You cannot get enough torque on it to be able to pull it out. You would have to put the head down, put your foot on it, and then pull it out. So
Either or, it is your
A la-
backup. Like
a last resort, yeah.
in the first Resident Evil game, you
Yeah.
find daggers laying around. They're one-use items
Hmm.
for when they're on you.
Well, that's it. Yeah, you stab them, and you can't get it back. It's not practical to get it back. Whereas that is.
But I
what-
mean, you can still use it, and it's good for one go. And if it's on its own, you've got time to try and pull that out.
what you need is a bow staff or a pike. Like everyone has one of them lying
Yeah,
around.
like I say, have you got a pike laying around your house?
No, but like I said, the Klingon bat'leth, it's not that far away from the length of a bow staff, so
But
it's the
does
same
it
sort of thing
have-
as pushing away.
The problem I would have with a bat'leth is it doesn't have the mass. If you're going to cause damage with something that isn't a stabby weapon, and that you need something that is physically has mass to it. It's like, for example, if you were to have a broom handle, and then you were to have a steel bar of the same thickness and the same length, you'll be able to push back with a lot more force because it's got more mass.
Yeah, but with the bat'leth, you wouldn't use...
Oh yeah, it's better than now. It's better than
No, you wouldn't use the blade, the long blade for cutting. You would basically, if you had it equipped and a single zombie comes at you, you'd swing it down, put the point straight through their eye socket. You know, the pointy bit.
You've got to be like a good shot with that, but it's a big clumsy thing. Like if a zombie's in your doorway, you can't swing that thing around.
The other problem I've got with a Batleth is it's got spikes on both ends. You put that spike in it, the zombie lunges at you. The zombie now has a weapon.
And there's a spike, there's a spike at both ends.
Yeah.
That could go into you.
So-
Yeah, the main use of the Batleth would not be to cause damage, it would be to create some breathing room. You've got a bunch of zombies coming at you, you've got hold of it, you can push them back.
I'm not saying it wouldn't
send them
work, I'm
flying.
just saying I wouldn't keep it for long.
I'd keep it as a crowd control weapon.
It's like Walking Dead, Lucille. That's a brilliant weapon. Blunt force trauma. You can...
See,
Rip
I
her
have
over.
I have a replica of Lucille, but I wouldn't use it in a real zombie apocalypse.
Well, no,
the
because
ones
it's
that
made of
would
rubber.
break. No, well, yeah, but it's solid, but it would still break after like one use.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is a real wooden baseball bat is going
Wrapped in barbed wire.
Yeah, that's gonna feck some shit up.
Now, I'm going to try go next. Because
Go on.
I know what answers you're going to say, Martin.
Like he hasn't told us all 100
Well,
times.
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, what have I got? I've got my hatchet. Well, in
Nice.
fact, I've got two hatchets, so I can dual wield that thing.
Only problem with hatchets is they can get, like in the skull, they can get stuck in, can't they?
They can. Oh, hi.
Yo.
Come say hello. Oh, come on. It's my sister. Come on. The world.
Please tell me that got recorded.
Yeah, probably. Too late. Bye. Just have to get pissed.
Usual Paddy.
I'll get ready with that axe when she gets so pissed.
Just like
So-
a Home Alone trap with spikes on it.
I've got two hatchets. Oh, she's back again. All right, hang on. I'll pause it. Right, what's up? Why would your car keys be in here?
Because I was sat in here earlier.
Doing what?
You told me no. No, I'm joking.
Ugh.
Watching telly.
What are you watching?
You were here.
Oh, were you watching that Trailer Park Boys thing? I didn't really pause it.
No, I didn't think you did.
So, yeah, I've got two hatchets that I can use.
Usual Paddy starring Joe Martin James.
Now,
Guest appearance from Hayden.
That I can... A hatchet's going to be easier to get out of a zombie skull than a knife.
And it's
because
smaller, so I
because
can
you
wield it around in a closer
you can
environment.
lever it out. You're not just having to pull straight on
No.
the...
See, I would have said hatchet, but I don't currently own one.
And it's got a heavy end as well to act like a hammer.
Yeah,
so it's
you can
dual
reverse
purpose
it.
as
You
well.
can reverse it and hit them with a blunt end.
I've got a heavy end.
I mean, like with the zombie survival guide, it recommends that one of the best weapons you can use is a crowbar or a pry bar, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Because not only are you causing a
It's a
lot
useful
of
tool.
like blunt force trauma, you can use it to
Got to
open
stab
doors.
something,
You know, it's
It's
really versatile.
It's the Swiss Army knife of the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
I'd say the Swiss Army knife is probably the Swiss Army knife of the zombie apocalypse, but
Swiss Army knife will be helpful, but not for really killing zombies. But I've got a baseball bat, so I can use that as well. Third, I've got a bag of crisps I can use as a diversion, maybe.
I don't think
Um,
zombies
Pop
eat
the bag.
crisps.
I can't think of what else I've really got here. I mean,
Alan.
Alan.
kitchen knife. I've got Alan.
Alan will go all Monty Python on them.
Yeah.
Rip 'em to pieces.
The
But-
killer rabbit of
For,
whatever
yeah,
it
for
was.
anyone that doesn't know,
Anti-opposite.
Alan is my pet rabbit, who's lingering somewhere.
And who is also a girl.
with intent. Yeah, she's a girl.
She's
Monitoring.
currently washing herself.
Is she washing the blood off her enemies?
That must be it.
Yeah.
Alan.
So
We haven't got trained very well. She doesn't answer her own name.
no, she poops on the carpet. Martin
Oh, you mean
doesn't
those,
poop on the carpet.
you mean they weren't raisins then?
No.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yeah, raising a point there.
Yeah.
Martin, what three weapons do you have in your house that you would use in the zombie apocalypse?
Oh,
Nerf guns.
yeah.
He's
that's
trying to
it.
get rid of them.
Yeah, Nerf gun. Yeah, if you want some Nerf guns, everyone want to buy some Nerf guns. I'm tooled up, ready for foam warfare. Longbow,
Is that your first? Let me move that bottle of Coke.
Because it's quiet.
It is.
It's like in early season of Walking Dead when he says, "Oh, your crossbow's quiet," and his gun.
Because
So-
generally crossbows are quiet.
Quiet.
And we heard every part of you itching your armpit there.
Awesome.
So yeah, longbow or recurve bow, whatever. It's long. It's a bow.
Can you use it yet? I've seen your target practice.
If there was a crowd of zombies,
You might hit one.
You might get one in a survivor's arm across the street.
no. All right. So longbow,
Yep.
12 gauge.
Is it the pump that you've got or the double?
No, that was one I was fixing. Now to go back to someone else.
Oh. It was like a proper American cop
Yeah,
pump
like a
action.
proper- You,
like
you
wooden
get that
stock.
that good sound of the
pump.
action racking sort of
Yeah.
thing. Nice.
Pardon me.
That drew the zombies in. So, yeah.
Yeah, longbow, shotgun.
You
As,
know
a,
when
la-
you're
as a
talking
last resort, I'm not a big fan of shotguns. Well,
I
I am
know.
a big fan of shotguns, but in the zombie
While
apocalypse.
you've got the cartridges, you might as well use it.
Well, the way I would look at it is a shotgun for every sort of like 2 rounds of a shotgun, that's like a box of 22. And that's 50 22s. So with a shotgun cartridge, you might have 2, maybe 3 zombies if you're lucky. If you've got 50 22s.
You'd want it for if they're coming through your door. Then you can use
no,
it.
I would still want. In fact, no. But scratch the shotgun. I'll just use a 2-2.
So you're not using the shotgun. So you got
No.
the cartridges sat at home, you're just going to leave them.
See, isn't a shotgun good for crowd control?
No,
Well-
it doesn't spread enough and it's not powerful enough
I was
to
more
use like
thinking the
bird
knockback
shot.
effect.
The problem you've got in the United Kingdom is the most common form of shotgun you're going to get is a Section 2 shotgun. So you're limited to a maximum of 3 shots. So you've got side by side over and under, which is 2 shots. So essentially, you've got bang bang reload.
How many would that pump take?
3.
Oh.
Yep. Even a pump action or semi-automatic shotgun, you can get Section 1 shotguns, which is a higher capacity magazine, like competition shotguns, which might have like 8 down the tube and 1 in the thing, so you've got 9. So even with that, that's like 9 rounds of a shotgun. And then you've got to reload, and then it's a case of just reloading one at a time. It takes so long.
Yeah.
Whereas if you,
But if have you seen like people speed loading them at like
yes,
free
if
gun
if
shit?
your surname is like Reeves or Michalak or someone like that, who can just reload 8 in like a second, yeah. If you're the Terminator, then you're
then you
gonna be
wouldn't
fine.
really be worried about zombies, would you?
Fair point.
But no. Anyway, my point is, it's good to have, but it's an incredibly impractical weapon.
Right.
The other thing is, I would have, if I scratch a shotgun, I would have a bow, a 22, and then a shotgun.
You're 22.
Yeah, my 22, because you've got 25 rounds on tap, so you've got more rounds than you have with the
And this is an LR, not
long rifle.
a 2-2 pellet.
Yeah, no,
Just getting that point.
yeah,
out there.
you've got a live 22. If you put a moderator on that, it's going to be quiet. So quiet, the only thing you're going to hear is the click of the bolt.
Yeah.
So you've got click, click, there you go. So that, if you've got zombies coming through that door, you just go bang in the head, bang in the head.
I'll just set Alan on them.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I mean.
And what's your third choice?
Oh, I haven't really got anything else other than that shotgun.
You might as well just use a shotgun.
Yeah, there we go. Well,
While you've still got the cartridges, you might as well
Yeah.
carry it if you've got nothing else.
yeah, if I had no else, I would rather have... no, tell a lie, I've got a length of stair rail.
Stair
Like
rail.
handrail from the stairs. So it's like a really heavy bow staff. You know, the whole blunt force thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would use that.
You'd use a lot of energy swinging a banister around.
Yeah, you really would.
Yeah, but you've got to think of the practical use.
Yes, we've commandeered this place, but them steps are awfully dangerous.
All right, think about
We will need to put a rail in there. I have one!
think about it this way.
Do you have like a hammer or something you can use? Maybe you can 3D print one
I've
in
only
like
got
a couple
small
of days.
Hammer.
Oh, is it
No,
like a
that's-
little toffee hammer?
Well, no, it's like a regular hammer, but it's like a small. It's not like a sledgehammer or anything like that.
Well, that's the point. I have a hammer, so I could
I
use
have a
that
hammer.
instead of
Oh,
Alan.
could you imagine that? Just going down the street, I can't touch this.
Yeah, I'd use the hammer instead of a
Hammer
combat
down.
knife.
Yeah,
I've been like making all Thor references while I'm beating zombies with.
yeah.
Nice.
But no, I mean I think that's practical. You've got a really quiet bow. You've got a really quiet 22. You've got a hammer. There you go. You're not going to make much noise. You're not going to draw attention to yourself. You can dispatch the zombies. Job's are good.
And just to be a badass like Negan, you would have to name the hammer. And if you didn't name it MC, I would disown you as a friend.
We can't have like a number of people. We can't all meet each other. We all have a hammer, but mine's called MC. We
Well, no, I was
like,
talking
a
about
bunch of
Martin in
MCs.
specific.
Well, you can have like MC Hammer. He can have like
Have you run out of?
that's the
Hammer
only hammer. I was
joke.
going to say Mjolnir. There we go. You got Mjolnir, MC Hammer, and I'll have Hammery Hammerface.
No. If Mjolnir's a choice, I want Mjolnir.
Well, no. You've got
You want
MC.
it.
I said you would have to have MC,
we've
not me.
No, I'm not having MC Hammer thrust upon me.
I'm not having MC. I want Mjolnir.
Well, no, he's got Mjolnir.
I'm the Viking enthusiast here.
Yeah, and he's the one that's got Mjolnir in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Only I can lift it because I know where it is. Which means you can't hold it. Anyway, that wraps up this part.
Are you sure?
Yeah, this time that's an extra 15 minutes we've added onto this.
That's actually our shortest one yet.
It probably
Is that
is,
what
to
she
be
says?
honest. What's the name of your sex tape?
I just want to point out your rabbit just crapped a load and then ate it all.
Did she?
Yeah,
Yes.
they do that. They'll eat it about
She's
3 or
left
4
one
times.
single
And that's why
pellet.
she'll be good in the zombie apocalypse, because she'll bite a zombie and then they will be infected even more so.
Well, still turn into rabbits.
They might turn back
That's it.
into
Alan's
people.
going to start the zombie apocalypse.
She'll end it. She'll be the cure.
Yeah.
The cure to the zombie apocalypse.
And she's just sat there looking at us like, are you what?
Like, you mean you don't eat poop? What's wrong with you? Anyway, so we will see you next time. Time for our really high budget outro. Everyone say bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.